Another weekend in lockdown. What can we say?
Just
what can we
thank
say?
God the weather is nice. Imagine if it was just pissing down now as well.
Yeah, the weather is
I've
nice.
got to do the windows though
The
now.
weather's nice. Well, yeah.
Because that's the trouble. When the sun comes out, oh my God, my windows.
The problem is when the sun comes out, everyone understandably goes out. So you can't find... I mean, I have to confess, whilst the horrible weather's horrible, when you go to the park and it's horrible weather, you know that
that's
you're
the
going to
nice
go
thing.
around the park on your own. That said, it was quite quiet at the park yesterday. Good morning, Claire Smiley, Brenda McGee, Claire Yardley, Lisa Kane, and N. Higgins, Helen Durkin. Random nothingness, lovely weather in Kent makes the day just so
Archie
much better.
Clark, how are you? Hi Claire, hi Lucy Gale.
A packet of Chris, I like that. A packet of Chris.
Oh God, look at that bacon on that griddle. This advert always comes up at this point when we haven't had any breakfast and we're starving.
Good morning to you both from Sweden, Eva Ekdahl. Welcome, Eva Ekdahl. Brilliant name. Angarad D, how are we all? Sally O'Sullivan sending love. Yes, it's Captain Tom's funeral today. So I think he's going to get a fly pass, doesn't he? He's going to have some, I know. I do love... We're going to lose that generation where flying sort of Spitfires and shit in the air is kind of the done thing. Do you know what I mean? What will they do? What will they do? Fire in 50 years' time? PS5s or something?
No, don't.
Joystick things
I've got to
across
find out about your
PS5s. Morning, Sonia, Moira, Sam M87. Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, beautiful Sam _ M87.
Oh, look, New Zealand's back into lockdown.
Oh, look, a packet of Chris has just joined. That means
Oh, God, we've got
to
to sing Packet of Crisps. Stay to the end because we will sing a welcome song to you. Damn it, New Zealand's back into lockdown for 7 days. Auckland level 3 and rest of New Zealand level 2 at 6 a.m. Sunday morn. Some refuse to obey rules and stay home and told to isolate 5 million Kiwis peeved off.
I
was talking to
I think we now have a global population that's had its fill of lockdowns. I think you're gonna get it's gonna be hard pushed.
I was talking to my New
motivated.
Zealand friend yesterday. New Zealander. Would you say New Zealander friend? New Zealand?
Who's that?
Kiwi. Penny, who's one of the makeup artists at Loose Women. She's lovely. And it's been so hard for her, of course, because she's the one I've spoken about before, you know, like at Christmas. She was like FaceTiming all her family that were having a party or they're having a barbecue or they're, because of course they can still do whatever they want. It's been so hard for her because she's got a 2-year-old. Yeah. So the thought of going and staying in a hotel for 2 weeks, quarantining, costing thousands.
Food as well.
Awful with a toddler, and she had the thought now because she's booked to go. So the thought now that she could go there and then quarantine on the way back as well, possibly.
Oh, I see. You're talking about her quarantining out there. Sorry, I'm talking about
because she's desperate to get home.
I think their quarantine hotels are a bit nicer over there. As are diabolical. But, you know.
But she was saying that that actually she thinks New Zealand's going to have a massive problem with vaccination because she said the New Zealanders are very of the earth and very natural and very. And so they will not want to take the vaccine.
They're like hobbits, aren't they? It's like Hobbiton. It's like the Shire. It's like Middle Earth. It's pure. And what you don't want are the vaccines, I guess, in their sense of Mordor. Which is probably America. I know what you mean. I think if I lived in New Zealand, I would flip into becoming a character in Lord of the Rings. I'd love that. I'd love to be totally immersed in a fictional land. I really do. I really mean that when I say that. I used to, as a child, have aspirations that I could escape entirely into a fictional land. And that's why I fell in love with film and role-playing and all that kind. I love it. I just love it. Hind's Feet is just a never-ending story. I remember reading the Never-Ending Story, the book, getting to the end of it and saying to my mum, this isn't true.
Yeah, no, Maddie was the same.
I was so
and
disappointed.
Actually, for a while, she started writing the rest of the story and then she gave up.
That's right.
Because she said it's supposed to never end.
I mean, I thought there was going to be some clever twist where it took you back to the beginning of the book or something. And I remember getting to the end of the book and I shook it.
And it's a con.
I shook it and I was like, what?
It's a bloody con. It's ended.
This isn't a never-ending story. I loved the promise. The promise was so joyful. So anyway, I don't know why I'm saying all that. Captain Tom. So a big and prayers to Captain Tom's family. And I hope they're feeling better after all of the horrible stuff that was said and they've got over all of that. So let's just remember, dear Captain Tom, stratospheric rise to significance in this crisis.
He's just so extraordinary. He will be, I mean, he is going down in the books, the history books forever, isn't he? He was a very special person. very special moment.
Yeah.
And just extraordinary. I loved the way that the whole world got involved.
Yeah.
And people were donating from across the globe, weren't they? He just touched people's hearts. At a time when people were starting to think, oh God, why do we have to stay in to protect the elderly? There was a lot of that conversation going on at the time, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And we were just reminded, he was just such a great reminder of like how important all generations are.
No, absolutely.
And actually through this crisis, that's what we've come out learning, because there was a lot the other way as well. There's been a lot the other way, disgusting young people who just got to sit down, shut up, and vice versa. We just got to be more tolerant coming out of this.
Absolutely.
God, did you think we will?
We're going to get onto that in a moment. Let's just have some sort of semi-good news. Lady Gaga's dogs have been found.
Oh!
Yeah, they were apparently...
She thought it was politically motivated.
They were in the Soho House bar in LA having a drink.
Oh, shut up.
No. Anyway, they've been handed in anonymously, or not anonymously, but someone unconnected to their abduction has been handed in. Now, I'm pleased you said that. She believes it was politically motivated.
Because of her support of Biden.
Do you remember what I was saying in the run-up, that I was really worried about the vulnerability of Lady Gaga?
Yeah, I do.
Specifically.
Yeah, because I thought that yesterday when I saw the story.
And, well, I didn't want to kind of say it so bluntly yesterday, but I genuinely thought there would be some kind of militant or militia-like sort of inspired, and I think that was it, because she's in...
she must be very
She's
scared.
in Italy shooting the Versace movie, isn't she? Can you just pause for a minute? She's playing Versace... what's her name? What's the woman? What's her first name? Thinking Versace.
Gianni was here.
Isn't
it like Gian? Isn't she very similar?
So she's playing Versace, but...
Versace's sister.
Yeah, but...
Donatella.
But it's directed by Ridley Scott. Oh my God. It's just an absolute... I think it's got Oscar all over it, isn't it? Donatella, thank you very much. Donatella, who liked Nutella. Did you know that? Did you know named Nutella after Donatella?
Shut up. Trump is due to make his
Gucci
first
movie.
office speech soon. Oh, God, me too.
Was it a Gucci movie or the Versace movie? I thought it was Versace. Or am I mistaking the Versace series?
Well, I can't think of any female stars in the Gucci story.
Jared Leto is in it.
Oh, it's Gucci.
Is it Gucci? I can't remember. Nadia, wrong. Most people in New Zealand want the vaccine.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good. She was really worrying about it yesterday. I'll have to tell her that.
Mark, Millie Parfitt, we've been going through my late father-in-law's possessions and found an old camcorder in a hard plastic case. It looks like a small TV-style camera with the handle stalk. It looks so cool. I used to have one of those. Is it like a VHS camera? So cool. So old-fashioned. In fact, I think I've got one in the loft somewhere. Get Joe Swash to wash your windows. Stacey says he's great at doing them.
Well, if only we weren't in lockdown, I would get Joe Swash to come around to do my windows.
Remember watching the series about the killing of Versace? Guy was nuts. Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? We started watching that. It's Donatello Versace. Yeah. What about the
Vicky Preston, me too. My windows look like poo bums because of the sun. Well, also because they're dirty.
VHS-C, my first camcorder. God, we're getting nostalgic about old camcorders. I remember years ago when I first got into kind of interested in making my own films and stuff. Madonna did a pop video with some filmmaker who used a Fisher-Price camera. And it was like the first time someone had used something that wasn't broadcast. And it was really bad quality, but the bad quality was so good, in a sense, because it was so grainy. And everyone started filming on this sort of Fisher-Price camera. It was really weird. So Lady Gaga's dogs have been found. And so that's good news, really, isn't it? I found Chi-Chi this morning leaning on the newspaper. I've got a photo that I'm going to post on my Instagram at some point. And she was looking at it was so weird. It was like a dog was reading a story about dog abduction. And she was like looking at me like, I really hope this doesn't happen to me. Steph Schultz, my great auntie gave me an old Polaroid in the 80s.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Just moving that a bit because of the garden. Yeah, go on.
Do you have any nostalgic memories of cameras?
Well, yes, I do, because we had an incredible, just the lights hitting it weirdly, guys. We had an extraordinary camera in our house. Because my granddad, who was a special effects guy and worked on things like 2001, Space Odyssey and other big movies like that, he was able to get hold of a very old-fashioned kind. What is it called? A Steinbeck?
No, it was a rostrum camera.
Rostrum camera. So an animation camera.
So it wasn't really a family filming camera.
No. But we used to have an animation company in the house. That's what I did when I was a teenager to earn myself money. I would paint animation cells all day long. And yeah, it was a little animation company that my mum and dad started up. And this camera had been used on the movie 2001.
Yeah, which is astonishing.
Yeah.
If they'd kept it, it would be worth an absolute fortune.
What did you say the other day?
Well, no, but at the Stanley Kubrick exhibition, it would have been one of the star exhibits.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been phenomenal. It would have been a piece of kit that... I mean, I interviewed the director of photography and visual effects supervisor of Star Wars in the States.
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick's
And I
camera.
mentioned that camera to him, and he was like... His jaw dropped. He won an Oscar. This guy won an Oscar, and everything. His jaw dropped.
And do you know where it used to be? We used to have a little kitchen in that place next door, and it took up the entire kitchen.
Wow. Well, it would do.
It was it was
Massive
the
deal.
width of this
And
table.
Presumably on a
And
sort
then,
of thing
yeah,
pointing
and then it
downwards.
would come down,
Yeah.
and you take a photo. So you paint the cells, the little plastic sheets with the picture, and then take one shot, move the cell, take the next shot.
Good old-fashioned
It was amazing
animation.
when you think about it. My dad was just nothing would stop my dad. He had this idea that he wanted to make these cartoons, and he just found this animator, and the animator practically lived in the house.
Sounds
And
like
he
us
made
with
all
the
these
company.
little. He's at the moment
weird?
trying to get. I know it's weird, isn't it?
How history
We've
repeats
almost
itself.
repeated what he's
Well, 'cause
done.
We used to have like 20. Weren't doing animation, but we had like 20 people in there all making
Yes,
kitchen
so
shit.
in the same
house.
house.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't actually, because it was my parents' side of the house.
No, but it was in his house. And
Yeah,
that,
in
the
his
company
house,
was
in a
our
bit on the
house.
side of the house.
yeah,
That was
exactly,
an extension.
identical.
And yeah, and at the moment, my mum and dad are trying to get these films. What would you say, reconditioned or
Processed.
reprocessed?
Transferred.
Something. They're trying to do something to them so that we can watch them, because we thought we could put them on the channel.
Yeah, that would be good.
And it was this little character called Uncle Hodja, which was about this little Arab guy like this that came to the West for the first time. It's kind of my dad's story. And it was his experiences of coming to the West from the East. And lots of my dad's sort of,
Be really interesting. Remastered lineage.
remastered,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the word,
yeah.
yeah.
No, it would be lovely. It would be amazing.
That's quite a good camera story.
But did you, in terms of like cameras that your family would have, because you're on this point actually, there's a kind of relevance to this. We got sent back Denise, who won one of our book competition. We sent her a book, and she
Hello,
opened
Denise.
the book to discover this.
My only photo of me as a child I'd accidentally put in the book.
And therein lies, you've just said the sentence that kind of makes this a more interesting conversation in some sense. My only photograph. The amount of times I've heard Nadia call her mum and say, "Mum, have you got a photograph
No.
of me?" And it's a very
No.
rapid
No,
yeah.
oh, you're asking me again? Oh, God, you're
Yeah.
asking me again.
And so, were there cameras around being taken? Who was the photographer
I
taking
never remember a
photographs? Who
photograph
took
being
that?
taken. My mum was the photographer. And there are photographs, it's just certain people in the family have taken them all.
Yeah.
Do you have that? Do you have that, where certain people in the family
Yeah.
get all the photographs and then protect them like they're like bloody gold
I do in
dust?
my family. That's me. There's only me.
Yeah, you're that one. You're that
Well, 'cause
person. He's
there's
that
only me.
person.
Yeah, I'm that person. But yeah, no, it's interesting because my Nanny Thelma was the one that took all the photos in our family, and I did for my graduation film for my masters. I did a documentary. It was a documentary degree, and my master's film was a piss take. Well, one of 2 or 3 films I did was a piss take mockumentary of the photography of my nan.
Yeah, it's so good.
And I wrote
Can't you
this,
put it up
and
on
I
the
wrote this
channel?
incredibly academic. It was
really
po-faced,
good.
really sort of,
Thanks, Faith.
really sophisticated kind of narrative, justifying and explaining and theorising.
It's so good.
Basically, the most appalling photos you've ever seen taken. I.e., my head's chopped off, photographs of herself.
But he does it in this really serious BBC format.
Yeah.
Mark, you've got to put it on the channel. Have you
Anyway,
got it?
but the funniest part of the
You
story
guys would
is
love it.
that I submitted it, and then I went in and I did we had to do a verbal exam, and we had to pitch and talk and da-da-da-da. And as I came out of the exam, my tutor on the MA, this is at Goldsmiths, it's like proper art at film school, leant over and said, as I walked out, he said, "She isn't actually an artist, is she?" And I went, "Gotcha!" And he was like, I'd so convincingly... And
But he had to check.
Yeah, that he had to he just wanted to double check that there wasn't actually an artist at work there. So anyway, but she was the main camera taker in our family. And I remember cameras, there were Polaroids. obviously, which were very exciting. But then do you remember those rectangular ones?
Yes, I
They
had
were
those.
like that, and you look through one end.
My mum had a beautiful camera.
Right.
In a gorgeous brown leather case.
Yeah.
And it was sort of rounded. It was like something you'd see in a movie in
Wow.
the 60s. It was a really proper camera.
Yeah.
And she was good. I mean, we would give my dad a camera because my dad was always flying off to exotic places to film to be in movies. And
No, we trust it is Gucci, Lucy. Absolutely. Sorry, we got our Italian designers mixed up. Sorry.
And he was filming. Do you remember the Shaft film? Shaft.
Yeah, he did the Africa version.
He's a
didn't he?
Shaft in Africa, and he took this camera with him. You know this story.
Oh, yes.
And he came back, and he was like, "So, Dad, did you take any photos?" "Oh, I took fantastic photos. I took photos of the desert. I took photos of the thing. Anyway, he hadn't taken the bloody lens cap off.
That's very funny.
All the photos were black.
Yeah.
Shaft.
I mean, I remember those days where it was a real. I mean, when I went to the I mean, digital's only been relatively recent. When I went to the Arctic, it was a proper SLR camera, and when I was taking the photos, the shutter on my Pentax or whatever it was, I was filming obviously, and the Digibeta cameras. I don't know if you remember. You have a huge handpiece here, and you've got a viewfinder.
Yeah.
It was so cold, it sheared off. That the hand part just the camera just split in two.
Oh my God.
And we had to film the rest of it with like gaffer tape and all this kind of stuff. But my stills camera, I remember taking photos thinking there's no way these are going to come through because it kept freezing. It kept literally, it would shutter and then we got it back and then you process. But the excitement of processing films is
and
so
as
good.
Faith says, I remember this, my dad used slides that we look at on a
Slide
projector.
projectors.
Oh my God, I remember as a child endlessly looking at slides. Now when I think
Yeah.
about it, my granddad and my mum. So where are those slides?
Yeah, and people used to invite people. Well, not that they did in my family, because no one did that. But I'd meet other people in other families, and they'd say things like, "Should we have a slideshow?" I remember going to someone's house and them getting a huge slide projector
Yeah.
and saying, "We're going to show you our family photos."
Yeah.
It was so boring.
Yeah.
It was so boring. It was
Yeah.
like the kiss of death.
Oh, I used to love it. I didn't find it boring.
No,
at
when
all.
other people got their photos out of
Oh,
like
other
climbing
people's.
mountains.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
when you're looking at your own, that's fine. I mean, we do it all the time. But when someone else invites you around, that used to be a thing. I remember at college.
We don't look at our photos at all anymore. We used to do it so regularly with the girls
We
when
used
growing
to do-
up. We'd go on a holiday and Mark would always do a brilliant photo show at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, it was such a big part of our holidays.
We don't do it
wasn't
now because the girls don't want to be photographed. No one wants to be photographed.
It's
Everyone's so
annoying. Everyone's
hypersensitive
so
about being photographed.
vain these days.
Even if you say it's just for you, I think we should do a confessions about that. Even if you say
so
it's just for the
sick of
family,
it.
there's going to be this huge period of time where there's virtually nothing.
Yeah.
Virtually nothing.
And because I'm off the telly, I'm not allowed to have a single photo with them.
Oh, it's
So
infuriating.
annoying.
There you go. It's
I'm
nice.
going to have no record of them as teens with me.
No, it's hard.
And I
It's
would
hard.
never break their trust and use a photo that they
Oh,
didn't
no,
say
it's
was
not
all
even.
right. That's
but
what's so annoying.
We're not even talking about photos that we would post.
Just
we're
for our
talking about
life.
photos for ourselves.
Oh, I
It's
never
like-
post anything. I'm not even allowed to post on their
Yeah.
birthday.
Slide projector. I love that. I loved all that. For yourself when we do. Well, I used to have a Super 8 camera. I used to film a lot of stuff on Super 8. I mean, that's how you'd have used Stanley Kubrick's. You'd have done the single frame footage and all that kind of stuff.
Sandra just said, everyone's vain, Nadia, apart from you. No, the thing is, I'm genuinely not vain about photos. I'll just be photographed.
Do you think
anyway.
you're not
Have
vain
a
because
look.
you essentially know
Have
you're
a-
quite pretty?
Have a look on my Instagram feed.
Do you think
But
that
you
helps?
can see there how I don't mind how I'm seen.
I mean, you know that you're pretty. Does that help? It must help with vanity if you know that you're pretty.
God, some of the most vain people I know are the most stunning people I know.
Some of the most vain people. No, I know. I'm not talking about in general as a rule. I'm talking about for you. Do you think because you're incredibly, you don't mind at all. You're not at all.
Well, I like to look nice
Yeah.
sometimes. I like to be all things. It's like sometimes I like to look really nice, and and other times it's just not important. It's just not important. Every single shot has to be, and I've always been like that. You ask any photographer that I've done a photo shoot with, and they'll always at some point go, "Would you want to have?" Because most people are running over the whole time. What's it look? And I always say no. I don't want to look at a single photo because I just think you can get so obsessed with what. Because the thing is, the way we look at ourselves isn't how other people see us anyway.
I remember going into that strange contraption in Amsterdam. It was a really important moment for me with my dysmorphia.
We should remember it more often.
And there was this thing in Amsterdam. There's this brilliant science museum. Do you remember the girls loved it? We had such a
it's really
fascinating
good.
time. And you go under this thing, and then you come up in this sort of self-enclosed space. It's like a sort of cube almost. And as you go in there, there are mirrors all around you, so you can actually see the back of your head.
Yeah, you see yourself 360 degrees like a person.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you just say you were just to catch me now in a photograph, and I might look absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
And then, but you know, there's 1,000 more movements if you're talking to somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people are judging the way that they look from a flat, simple photograph.
Yeah, and that 360 degree thing, it was the first time I actually caught the sight of myself from behind, and I went, oh, I don't look as horrendous as I think I always look. Or a shot of me from the side, I don't look as horrendous
No,
as I
you
ever
didn't
look.
say that, actually. You said, I actually look quite nice. You didn't even say it that negatively.
It's weird,
You went,
isn't it?
oh, I look quite nice. I said, yeah. You're seeing how another human sees you.
Yeah.
None of us can judge ourselves.
Yeah.
And you're right. Somebody was saying their social media and the fact that people can take photos of themselves all day long. Yeah. Our girls are beautiful, but they never think they do. There's always something wrong with the photo.
Yeah.
We should do that on Confessions of a Modern Babe.
I think, no, I've always thought that. I mean,
Have we done it?
no, we haven't. No, I think
let's
it would
do
make
it
a really
then.
good show. I mean, it's not about
You're
selfies.
very
it's about
handsome, Mark, says Nikki Thompson.
Oh, bless you. I mean,
It is.
Yeah, but it's not about that, is it? It's about, one of the problems I have, it's always like, whatever one's issue is with one's face or, teeth or whatever, it's like you do it a lot, and you do it because you're doing it kindly, because you like my smile. But when someone says to me in a photograph, smile, I want to literally punch them. I am giving you the face.
Strong.
No, but it drives me nuts. I don't know how many times I can say it. If I'm having a photograph taken, I'm as comfortable as I am having it taken in the way that I want it taken. And I've started to discover that sometimes I get the nicest photos of myself when I'm doing my own selfie, because you're not in control of when the thing snaps, are you? It's like when I take photos of you, like the Kim one. You take lots and lots and lots of them, and then we look through them and we go for the best one. But so often no one takes lots and lots of me. They take a few, and then it's like, oh.
I'd
God.
love to know a way out of this hellish,
Yeah, it is hellish.
hellish place that we are all in now. Because how do we reverse it?
Self-hatred in photos.
Okay, so somebody just went up there and said, oh, I hate it when photos are taken of me because I'm not photogenic. But what does it matter if we don't look perfect in a photo? I mean, what does it matter? I mean, sometimes I see photos of myself, I go, oh my God. But that's it. And then I'm moving on to my next thought. We just got to move on to the next thought and not sit with it so much.
Me too, but I know what you mean, Mark. Photograph me as I am, a forced smile is fake. Absolutely. And I think the reason a lot of people end up looking not like they think they look is because they're doing a face that they've been asked to do. And I think that is a major deal. I think it's a major deal. It might be that, a photo is a nice photo, not just because you're smiling. It might be the feeling. There's a beautiful photo of me and the 4 girls that was on a calendar. Do you remember? I haven't got a great big gurning grin on my face, but it's a very nice feeling to it. And I think that's why I get so weird about the photo shoots. You're very comfortable about photo shoots because you don't have that. But
I don't like them.
No, I know you don't like them, but I sometimes wonder whether that's because
them.
you do have a sense, and I don't mean this in an arrogant way, you have a sense that you're pretty. And so that's, you're going to look quite nice. Whereas other people who aren't off the telly and don't do a lot of kind of front of camera stuff don't feel that.
But can I just say, I dread every photo shoot I ever do. Dread it for days
Wait till you
before.
see behind the scenes of the Hello
Just
photo
because I feel
shoot.
so
It's
silly.
funny.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
funny.
Oh my God, we've got to do our reaction to the
I know.
Mark.
So Gabby's
done another Mark.
compilation.
She said there was an hour and a half's worth of footage of me saying Mark from 2020.
Yeah. So before Nanny Di goes, me, Nanny Di and Nadia are all going to watch it. We could possibly ask Maddie if she fancies the hysteria of it. You never know, she might join us. And also, we haven't forgotten that in lieu of last night, we did a Home Time Live. There is a members live tonight at some point. We haven't worked out the time because we are hoping to go out for a nice walk somewhere at some point. The variety of lockdown. But
we might get a sandwich from a takeaway shop.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. No, you were hoping for a chimichanga from Oaxaca, weren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, don't. I mean, that sounds so exciting. I feel very down today about the whole there was a really interesting piece in the Times saying depressed and happy about lockdown. Positive and negative emotions can be felt at the same time about lockdown and being released from lockdown. There's so much one's excited about. And then there's so much one just feels, I feel slightly hopeless about too. Not even hopeless about that things are going in the right direction.
Funny, isn't it, Hannah B?
But hopeless about the idea, what, that I'm feeling hopeless?
No, I'm just answering
sorry.
a few comments.
But a sort of, and so it's strange. I think it's really important that we just say to each other, you know what, it's all right to feel excited and then not excited. I feel great excitement and then no excitement. I think it's hard when you're living with people because you're all trying to stay in tandem to a degree, but it's very hard because when one person's feeling excited about that prospect, the other person's feeling a bit
Mixed
cautious.
emotions.
It's
I mean, it's like everything else in life. There are mixed emotions, and we just have to deal with them. Nothing just has to be one thing.
Yeah.
You know, people don't just have to be excited about Loctite. You can have every feeling is valid, and everybody's experience is valid, and everybody's going to come out of this in their own way. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think on the back of that, I think there's a lot of worry. Going back to the specifics of the lockdown, Jonathan Van Tam, the kind of man that who looks like he could rugby tackle you really well, doesn't he?
Oh, look at that Carla Agia sport.
Sus.
The adult
version.
What's that?
Oh, Christ.
Oh, we could do that on our
That would be fun.
podcast, How to Stay Married. I didn't know there was an adult version. What is
that's
it, naughty?
Really, yeah, I hope so. Yeah, no, that sounds thrilling. What was I going to say? No, I love Jonathan Van Tam's analogy. We're 3-0
He
up.
loves his analogies.
He's
It was
great.
beer last
He's
week.
great. Well, that
Van
frustrated me.
Tam is the guy to listen to.
Yeah.
He's like John Campbell. John Campbell and Van Tam are usually
But anyway, his analogy was football. And his analogy was being 3-0 up, which, as a Tottenham fan, is often the case. And then they lose 4-3. I know that feeling. I've been there many times as a teenage boy. And I worry that, what he's saying is we need to be very careful. And that's why complacency is in the title of today's Coffee Moaning. It's really key that we don't get complacent. And I get slightly
We've got
worried.
Nicola Randall written down. Thank
Yeah.
you, Nicola S. We're going to sing
And
Happy
I
Birthday.
get slightly worried, especially not even for myself, but for the kids and everything else, that, we want this to move in the right direction. And if we've got this far, we don't want to squander the progress we've made by all just kind of just throwing caution to the wind and going batshit crazy. And it's hard.
But how can people go batshit crazy? There's nowhere to go. Do you mean
Well-
like people having house parties?
Well,
and
I can
stuff?
tell you for a fact that yesterday on the road, it was not...
Oh, God.
It was exactly like a
bad.
normal Friday.
Yeah, why?
In
It was like that. I was late for work. Why?
it was so busy, absolutely everywhere on
But
the
where
roads.
were they going?
I think people know it was going to be a sunny weekend, and I dread to think that everyone's going around the country going to see people.
Oh,
I think
no.
people are off it now, and the numbers are going up in certain spiky areas. But I think you're going to see the numbers generally going up, and I think the reason that the government going back to over 40s will be jabbed sooner than we think. I think the reason there seems to be a sense of them speeding through the ages, and the reason I think that's happening is, and I'm not saying this as a cause for concern, but I think they are getting probably a little bit frustrated by they've vaccinated as many people as they can at this point, and they're finding themselves being able to go to the younger ages quicker than they thought they were going to. So I think that's why the Queen, of all people, yesterday was saying, get a fucking jab.
This was extraordinary, the Queen saying this
Well, this was yesterday. I mean, it's
Palace are
extraordinary.
really annoyed that Prince Harry released his stuff about the Corden interview.
Right.
Because he said there is just an unwritten law that the Queen has a clear playing field whenever she makes an announcement, and they think it weakened her announcement yesterday because that was massive for the Queen to comment on that and say this isn't about you as individuals.
Don't be
You've
selfish.
got to do this for the world.
But so let's look at the mood music on that. You've got the Queen saying that. You've got Jonathan Van Tam saying, let's not lose our 3-0 advantage and lose 4-3. You've got areas of the country going up, still in lockdown, which, let's not forget, was what was happening in London towards the end of the last lockdown. You've got, and I'm just telling you this as a Londoner, you had London on Thursday and Friday pretty much back at full tilt, I would say, without shops to go to. The roads were rammed. And so, I think we have to be, so I think there's a rapidity happening. There's a desire for rapidity to move through the ages. And I think also coupled with all of this, given various sections of society, cultural groups in society are resistant to taking the vaccine, I think the government is rattling through the younger ages because they can. because I think they're hitting them soon.
Hang on a minute. They're not getting there yet with the younger ages.
No,
they're
no,
just
but
saying,
they're talking about it happening in April. No one, 3 or 4 weeks ago, no one was suggesting over 40s were going to be jabbed by April.
But we kind of knew it. We knew that the government were just making a concerted effort not to overpromise and underdeliver, because you could see by the way, the rate that we were going. And don't forget, most people still haven't had their second jab. That's what Van Tam was saying. He says, yes, these numbers are great, but it's still just the first jab and you need the second jab.
Well, we're never going to know for sure because they're never going to tell us. But my sense of it is, my hunch is that they've vaccinated as many people are coming to them as possible. And they're slightly alarmed by how few of the people in the age groups they've done so far have. You wouldn't have the Queen saying what she's saying otherwise.
Well, no, they were saying yesterday in the announcement that they cannot believe the uptake. They're over the moon with the uptake. Okay. I think it is very much communities that are resistant to. I think that's who the Queen was reaching out to. But there's been a lot of work done with that, so hopefully the message is getting through. Yeah. Because it's just so important. It's just because it will mutate if enough people don't have this vaccine. It will mutate.
I'm really
that's what they were talking about today.
I just want my text. I want my text.
I'm worried we've missed our text because we never pick up our bloody phone.
No, well, that's not true.
Because my friend said to me yesterday, she said, "Oh, have you had yours?" I said, "Well, I'm only 55." She goes, "Oh, like most of my 55-year-old friends
why
have
haven't you had one?
Am I 55?
You're 56.
Oh, 56?
Yes. I mean, you're going to be 57 this year.
God, I'm going to be nearly 60.
Christ, babe, you're the age.
See, they got a phone call. Some people just got a phone call. Yesterday, you guys were saying to me, some of you got a text, but some people just got a phone. I've had phone calls that I haven't answered.
Why don't I make a radical suggestion that we just phone our doctors and
ask? You can't. They tell you can't.
Oh, right, okay.
You're not allowed to phone your doctor, are you?
Okay, well, there you go.
No, you will get text, email, and a letter, Ellen said.
Oh, right, they make it pretty damn jab. So, look, I mean, quite a few people in their 50s have had one.
Look, try the NH link to book. This is what my sister keeps saying to me. But isn't that only if you are an NHS worker that you can go on the link? I'm so terrified of doing it the wrong thing.
Letter for parents. My dad got a message on his phone. He got the jab that day.
You've had yours, MeTube.
Wow.
I got a text saying they'll call you.
Wow.
MeTube, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? I can't get a sense of how old you are.
Gabrielle,
what age you are.
Nadia, you look so much younger, don't worry. Maybe they haven't contacted you because they think you're so much younger.
No, Kay hasn't. She's desperate to have hers. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, Kay's only 50, isn't she?
You're right. I got a text every day and a letter every other day, but you're not having yours, are you, Zenda? Zanda's not having it.
My mum is 55 and had hers, but that's in Cumbria. I mean, we are in one of the most densely populated parts of London, so maybe it's just taking time.
You can phone to book. Somebody just said.
Yeah. Guys, hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. If you're a member, you will get a notification in the community tab as to what time we're going to be doing the members live later. And hit the thumbs up. Subscribe. Vlogs landing. We're on top of the Sunday show. The Sunday show is pretty much everything that I've shot is edited, so that will be landing hopefully earlier tomorrow.
Everyone's saying you can book online. We're going to go and book online now.
Oh, we have a new member just squeezed in, Sarah.
So now this is the point where we sing happy birthdays, and Di, you can put on the kettle now because we're just coming in.
So Sarah Morrow, I'm sure you've come before. Maybe people want more than one song. That's quite sweet. But Sarah
What's
Morrow,
that? Somebody's saying there. Everything's still being rolled out at the minute, so should get word soon. Oh, I hope so.
Oh, and we did a live vlog last night, a live home time vlog last night. So, which had Nanny Di in it.
And she was very naughty. She was swearing a lot because Xander encouraged her.
Yeah, she swore. Yeah, she swore 5 times. In fact, I think I made a note. 5 times she swore.
Well, make sure your GP's got the right phone numbers.
And can I just stress,
I've got my old phone number.
Caroline Ibbotson and Dale, Nanny Di wanted to specifically say sorry to Fifi for swearing.
Yes.
So Fifi, we're going to go and wash her mouth out with soap.
Yeah, Fifi, I don't normally swear.
She doesn't normally swear.
I'm not a swearing person.
Yeah, she's naughty. She's very
Oh,
naughty.
you can book you online if you're in the categories.
So my stomach's yawning and aching. Okay, so a couple of welcomes. A happy birthday first to Nicola Randall.
First of all, if anyone just came for the news and a bit of a chat, I would recommend that you leave now because we're about to sing. And it's not pretty.
Yeah.
Right, so who's first?
Nicola Randall's birthday.
Oh, before you go, hit the subscribe button if you're new. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so
And
you
the
can be
thumbs
told.
up.
And the thumbs up if you've enjoyed your time with us. Come on, we've got nearly 1,000 people with us, and only 174 have hit the icon underneath
Probably
me.
because most of them hate us. That's why they've stayed. So Nicola Randall, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Nicola Randall. Happy birthday to you. And thank you for Nicola S for alerting us to Nicola Randall's birthday.
So a little welcome for Sarah Morrow.
Welcome Sarah Morrow, welcome Sarah Morrow, welcome Sarah Morrow, welcome, 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 welcome Morrow.
See you on the morrow, Sarah Morrow. And this one's going to be a curious one. A packet of crisps, a packet of crisps.
Oh, welcome to a packet of crisps. We will always welcome a packet of crisps. We love a packet of crisps. We love a packet of crisps.
It's really hard to say it really fast. A packet of crisps, a packet of crisps, a packet of crisps.
Welcome to the VIP area. Family guest.
So, guys, I hope you have fun today. Going
Oh,
out
it's
for a
Peter's
walk.
birthday too. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Happy birthday
birthday
to you.
Happy
Happy birthday, dear Peter. Happy birthday to you.
And it's Jen's Market's birthday.
Jen's
Happy
Market,
birthday to
happy
you.
birthday. Oh, done the wrong tune.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Jen's Market. Happy birthday to you.
Chris Scott has just said, have you tried salt and vinegar quavers? That
No.
is wrong.
We didn't know about this.
No, they're totally.
Salt and vinegar quavers. I want to try them. I love it when a new crisp comes out.
Do you?
I'm getting them today.
Oh, did anyone...
Thank you for that.
Did
Mrs.
anyone...
P, welcome. We will sing your welcome song in a
Did
minute.
anyone try the Walker's KFC
Loved
ridged
them.
crisp?
Loved them.
I love them. I love them. They were like KFC. Miss P.
Miss P,
we
oh,
welcome you,
Miss
Miss
P.
P.
Miss P, Miss P, oh, welcome you, Miss P. Miss P, 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 Miss P.
Tell you what, Joe Wicks has really helped with my butt muscles. I could never go up and down like that normally. Boom, 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 boom. KFC crisps, greatest invention.
Thank you, everybody.
Guys,
Group hug.
group hug.
Oh, a packet of crisps is Emma Staples' brother.
Ah, Emma Staples'
welcome.
brother,
We
packet
know
of
your
crisps.
sister.
We love you.
Hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up if you've had a good time.
And I've got a puncture wound from the garden already. Green-fingered helling. It is hell.